Integration in logical learning.
The Heart of the Tree by Henry Cuyler Bunner. Henry Cuyler Bunner. Henry Cuyler Bunner was born on the 3rd of August, 1855, in New York. He was educated in New York City. He turned to journalism after working as a clerk. Bunner has written feelingly about the benefits of planting trees. His poem describes the innumerable benefits of trees and shade and shelter they bring to all life. He claims that people who plant trees plan for a future, and for people they do not know. Introduction. The Heart of the Tree by the American poet and novelist Henry Cuyler Bunner is a fine piece of poetry with a simple theme and a simpler structure. The poem was originally published in 1912. All the 3 stanzas of the poem The Heart of the Tree starts with a refrain with the poet asking what the man actually plants who plants a tree. Then he chooses to reply it by himself and shows what a tree means to the humankind and to the nature, thus proving how great that man is. The rhythm is amazing. The rhyme scheme is AABBCC for each stanza. This is a deviation from the celebrated Spenserian stanza, a 9-line stanza with the scheme ABABBCBCC. Though the language is simple, careful wordings makes the poem more expressive and obviously musical and attractive. Stanza 1. What does the plant who plants a tree? He plants a friend of sun and sky. He plants the flag of breezes free, the shaft of beauty, towering high. He plants a home to heaven and earth. For song and mother croon of bird in hushed and happy twilight heard the treble of heaven's harmony. These things the plants who plants a tree. Summary of stanza 1. The poem opens with the refrain which asks what does the plant who plants a tree, and that sets the tone for the entire poem. We instantly realize that the poet is going to explain the usefulness of planting a tree. However, the poet himself answers by stating that the man plants a friend of sun and sky by planting a tree. A plant grows upwards and aims to reach the sun and the sky, so it is as if the sun and the sky get a new friend in a tree. Secondly, the tree needs sunlight and air to survive. And finally, the trees seem to absorb the heat and save the earth from the scorching sun, giving an implication that the sun becomes friendly in the presence of the trees. The speaker now adds that the man plants a flag that flies freely in the mild breeze. The poet here compares the leafy branches of the tree to a flag and the stem to the beautiful shaft, pole, of the flag that stands tall. By planting a tree, the man plants a home for the sweet singing birds high in the sky, near the heavens, so he keeps the earth habitable for birds and helps in maintaining the ecosystem. In quiet and happy twilight we can hear those birds chirping, which is harmonious to heaven's own tunes. In the entire first stanza of The Heart of the Tree, the poet accentuates the importance of trees in maintaining the holistic beauty of nature. Moreover, the use of words like heaven and earth, heaven's harmony and towering high is aimed at giving an impression that the work of planting a tree is indeed a heavenly and glorious deed. The finishing line of the stanza forms a logical whole with the opening line, one asking a question and the other completing the answer. Stanza 2. What does the plant who plants a tree? He plants cool shade and tender rain, and seed and bud of days to be, and years that fade and flush again. He plants the glory of the plain. He plants the forest heritage, the harvest of a coming age, the joy that unborn eyes shall see. These things the plants who plants a tree. Summary of stanza 2. So, the poet repeats the question to begin a new stanza and attempts to answer again in the subsequent lines. The tree he plants provide us with cool shade and helps in bringing rain. A tree will produce seed and bud in future years will pass silently, but the tree will remain there through its seeds, producing new trees. Trees are the main elements that make a plain area green and beautiful. So the poet describes trees as the glory of the plain. Moreover, today's single tree may turn into a forest someday. So by planting a tree now, the man plants a forest heritage. The speaker mentions that planting a tree today would give fruits in coming days. Our next generations would be delighted seeing so much vegetation and reap its benefits. So all the credit goes to the man who planted a tree. In this stanza of the poem The Heart of the Tree, the poet stresses on the importance of planting a tree for making this earth a better living place for future generations. Stanza 3. What does the plant who plants a tree? He plants, in sap and leaf and wood, in love of home and loyalty and far-cast thought of civic good, his blessings on the neighborhood, who in the hollow of his hand holds all the growth of all our land. A nation's growth from sea to sea stirs in his heart who plants a tree. Summary of stanza 3. By planting a tree, the man shows his love and loyalty for this earth, his home, his sense of civic duty and his blessings on the neighborhood. All these are reflected in the sap and leaf and wood in every cell of the tree. By planting a tree, the man directly or indirectly contributes to the nation's growth. When a tree is planted, it sets in motion the progress of a nation from sea to sea. And all these start from the progressive thought in the man's heart who plants a tree. The capitalization in it indicates that the man who plants a tree is all-powerful and the destiny maker of a nation. This last line is very important as it talks about the man's heart, his feelings, dreams and wishes behind planting the tree. This also leads to the poem's title, The Heart of the Tree. Thus, the poet Henry Cuyler Bunner ends up composing an uncommon piece of poetry in the heart of the tree out of a common and cliché topic, the usefulness of planting a tree. Importance of trees. In the poem The Heart of the Tree, the poet has tried to give a glimpse of how trees are crucial for our lives on earth. According to him, the man who plants a tree also plants many things knowingly or unknowingly. The general benefits that the man brings to the others by planting trees are energy. Trees are useful to beat the scorching heat of the sun and to transform the light of the sun to glucose through the process of photosynthesis. All the energy for life on earth comes through this way. Natural beauty. Trees are crucial for the beautification of the earth with their high shafts and flag-like leafy green branches, shade and rain. Trees give us cool shade and tender rain, thus indirectly helping in agriculture and keeping the earth green. Wood. Trees have always played critical roles in a nation's growth, as it helps us by giving wood for fuel and making furniture and instruments, houses, vehicles, ships, etc. Oxygen. More importantly, trees supply oxygen and keeps us safe from pollution. In short, without trees, life on earth would not have been possible. The ecological benefits of plantation. Trees make the home for birds and other animals and insects, helping to keep up the ecosystem rolling. Trees make forests and that in turn help the earth in many ways, like giving home to animals and bringing rains and prevents desertification. Without trees, the herbivorous animals will be in want of food. That will lead to a scarcity of food for the carnivorous animals. In this way, the whole ecological balance would be disturbed. Trees assure the lives of the next generations, keeping the environment healthy and pollution-free. Social benefits of plantation. About the social benefits of plantation, the poet says it is blessing on the neighborhood and it's the work done from far cast sort of civic good. A man performs his duty towards society by planting a tree. He indirectly or directly helps so many people in many ways to live a better life on earth. Moreover, plantation is a symbolic act of goodness which alone can generate many other acts of goodness. So, the attitude of the entire society would change to a positive and helpful one. It leads to the nation's growth in the long term. Such is the greatness in planting a tree. Important themes. The poem The Heart of the Tree might actually have a number of themes, though the primary focus is why trees are essential for human existence. The usefulness of trees. This is the prominent theme in the poem as the poet describes how a tree helps in keeping this earth habitable. Appreciation for natural beauty. Henry Bunner here shows his appreciation and demands the same from the readers for the beautiful aspects of nature. He wants us to love nature and its objects in order to help ourselves live better. The comparison of a tree to a flag of breezes free and to a heavenly home for birds says it all. Responsibility for future generations. In the entire second stanza, the poet has talked about our responsibility to make this world a better living place for our future generations. And seeded bud of days to be the harvest of a coming age, the joy that unborn eyes shall see. The lines express this theme very well. Duties to fellow men and nation. In the third stanza of the poem, Bunner talks about how man can perform his duties towards his neighbors and to his nation by planting a tree in love of home and loyalty and far cast thought of civic good, his blessings on the neighborhood and nation's growth from sea to sea. These lines all convey the theme of responsibility to our fellow men. Thank you.